color changes. Sometimes confusing, very interesting. You know, sometimes our projects get a little boring and we want to change colors like every row, in the middle of a row. I know it can seem a little weird and strange and confusing, but today we're going to work on that and let's release all the fears. Welcome back, Biches and Bros. Today we are going to jump into the world of changing colors in the middle of a project. So hang on, we're not going to go too far into the deep end, but this is going to be a little, maybe fun. Colors are fun, right? Get a little bored sometimes with doing the same yarn through the whole thing. It's okay. I got you covered. So please make sure you are subscribed and that notification bell is dinged, and hit that like button to show me some love. And let's go ahead today and delve into the world of changing colors in the middle of a project. Welcome back, my beginner Biches and Bros. Today we are going to go ahead and do some color changing. I'm just going to show you two different ways. They're fairly similar to do color changing with single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet. So what I'm going to do, what I'm using is just my 5.5 millimeter hook, link down below. I'm using my, we've gone now to a worsted weight instead of our bulky that we've been using for most of the early tutorials. If you haven't seen any of those, you're welcome to go back into the playlist for basic beginner Biches and Bros. I start from the basics of what kinds of yarns are yarns and what do the hooks mean, etc. And then we worked our way up into projects, different stitches, so forth and so on. So we are branching out now into changing colors with our work. So changing, I will show you how to change colors both, I guess, in each row and with each row. I mean, each row is different, so you just turn and change a color, but I'll go over that really quick. But so we're going to start with single crochet, then half double crochet and double crochet. This is just simple. I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby, the acrylic. I like the texture of it for these tutorials. It's nice and firm, and it's actually kind of soft. So, but it does give you a good stitch definition. Yeah, I know we're doing some white here, but I'm throwing some pink in it to kind of show you the definition of the color changes. But I wanted to do some different colors for each different stitch. So I've started here with my little stitch row. I did the foundation single crochet here. I believe I showed that in a few videos back, so feel free to check those out in the playlist. So simple, I'm just going to do another couple of, let me zoom in so you don't miss my stitch goodies. Hopefully my camera will stay nice and focused. It's being a little tricky today. But yeah, so we're just going to do a couple of single crochets. Okay, so the first way to go ahead and do this is to not fully complete your stitch. So you kind of go halfway through there. And then to kind of secure that a little more stably, it's okay. I just like to pull my yarn forward. So especially if you're doing like a flat piece where you're changing colors and you're going to be working, say, building up with this color, this one will be on the back side if it lines up in the pattern that way. But also this is going to cross over and it kind of holds that tighter than if you left it loose on the back side, which I can show you both actually. So let me go ahead and get my changing color. We're going to use this pink color, and then you just start over with a new stitch. And I like to work across because I'm going to go back to the white. So the white is going to stay with me underneath the pink here. Oh, my yarn's getting tangled over here. So just, I'm going to do a couple of these with the pink. And then this last one, I'm going to change over to the white. Now I'm going to show you me just throwing the pink to the back instead of bringing it to the front to cross over, so you can see how it kind of, it'll loosen up a little as you see there. And then you can work into the next. But to keep that tension, that stitch tension, then you pull that back down like so. Okay. So there we go across. All right. So now if you are turning, you would do generally the same thing. I'm just going to continue with this strand right here so you can see we're going to not finish that stitch, and I'm just going to pull up the new color. And then if we're turning, we're going to chain and work back the other way. Okay. So that is how you would do the turn if you're switching colors at the end of your rows. So that's one simple way to do your color changes. Let me go ahead and pull this down a little bit, and I'm going to show you another way to do it. I kind of like it a little bit better personally because I feel it holds the tension better. Yes, it feels like maybe an extra step, but I don't know, I like it personally a little bit better. So what you'll do is your stitch, and you'll finish your stitch and then pull a loop out like so. Now you're going to come into these front loops right here, okay? And then pick up your new color, just like you would have the other way, and finish the stitch off. And then continue crocheting. I like to go maybe 1 or 2 more stitches, but then, see, and that holds the tension. It keeps everything the same. And then I just pull this, and there it goes. That just moves it right along. The tension stays nice and consistent throughout. And there we go. So then we'll do that again. Pull up that loop, go through the front 2 loops here, like so. Put that back there. Pull up your original color, and then pull through. And then go ahead and continue and finish off the row as normal. Okay. And then, like I said, just pull that one out. And there it goes. There is your single crochet, 2 different color change ways. Like I said, they're generally similar. One just has you finishing your stitch and then going back into it to hold the stability of your tension and your structure of your stitches. The other one has you finishing the stitch with a new color. I won't lie, sometimes I go back and forth with the ways I do it. It really kind of depends on what project I'm doing, if that makes sense. So there's that. So next up, let's go ahead and do half double crochet and then double crochet. Okay, so for our half double crochet, we're going to be working with our pink yarn, and our color change is going to be white. So here we go, half double crochet, same way you do any other half double crochet. And I'm sure you can guess the process here by what we just did. So, and here we go with, we have our stitch not fully completed. In this case, you see how loose this is? I'm definitely going to put this forward like so. Grab my new color and then finish off the stitch. Now, because I'm using pink as my base, I'm going to work over the pink here and then continue with a few more stitches in the new color. Okay, so now we're going to change colors again. Going to move the pink this way, the white this way. And I like to do that because it'll keep this part of the stitch tighter and tension consistent when I just finish off like so. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and finish the row with my new color. Just like that. Okay. So generally speaking, what you're doing is finishing off each stitch, building into the next stitch. And then changing colors just the same as I showed you with the single crochet. You would just finish off that last one. Let's go back in here and do that. Or you can do it the other way that I'm about to show you again. Let me pull up this one, which is finishing the stitch and then going back into the other stitches. And then that would be your turn. Okay, I can't grab it. Like so. Okay. And then you just weave in your ends when you get through with that. So let's go ahead now and I will show you the other way where you finish the stitch and then go ahead and change your color. Just so you can show you where you're going to be, what loops you're using. Because, you know, the single crochet has that one, those 2 loops, your half double here has 3, and your double is going to be just a little bit different. So I want to show you all 3 of them. All right, so then here we go. We finished off the stitch and then we have these 3 loops, right? And that holds just like that with your loop up here to keep it tight. And then just yarn over and pull through the 3. Oh. And then work a couple more half double crochet stitches down the row. I am working over the pink yarn because I'm going to be changing back over here in just a second right now. So I haven't pulled this yet just because I didn't need to, because I'm going to pull it right now. And let me show you. See, and that stayed nice and tight. It didn't get loose. And now we're just changing over here. And continuing to the end. Like so. So now let me pull this and show you how then to do your changeover on the end the same way. It keeps the end tight there. You don't have to worry about it getting loose. And then you just pull that up. And then you would do the chain, pull that tight, and then turn and continue through. Just like so. Okay, so I hope that makes sense for our half double crochet color change. And it looks wonky up there, but there we go. All right, so next up is our double crochet. And if you have questions through any of this, please comment down below, by all means. I know it might look a little confusing sometimes, but you know I'm always here to answer any of your questions and help you through this journey. Okay, so I'll be right back and we're going to do our double crochet. Okay, our double crochet is again a foundation, chainless foundation that I've been doing for all of these, just to give you an idea how that looks again. And I have started the second row just as I did with the previous 2 stitches. I'm just going to do a couple of double crochets and then we're going to change color. Okay, so we're doing half of our double crochet, right? We're not finishing. And then we're going to grab our color change yarn and then finish the stitch off like so. Okay. Now I'm going to work over the blue because I'm going to pull it back up towards the end of the row like I had been doing before. Okay, and let's do one more. And there's our half. Put this aside, pull up the blue, and finish the stitch. There we go. And then finish our row. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to pull this white a little tight because it looks a little loose here. There we go. Okay, this is the first way to do our color change. Now, if you were, so instead of, if you're making something like a tapestry crochet where it's going to have a picture here or what have you, leaving the tail, unworked tail here instead of working over it is perfect, because then you'll just come back and you'll pick it up over here. Actually, maybe I'll show you that right now. Okay, we're just going to do a turn. And let's come back this way. So really, I should have left it on the front side, like I was saying earlier with the single crochet, I believe, because then it will be on the back where we need it to do our color change, right? Okay. So, as per the way this would go with the finishing halfway, then now we go into our whites and continue on. So yes, I should have left the tail on the front because now you see it here, opposed to it being where it should be on the other side, if that makes sense. Okay. So then here we go on this side, how it would look. It would just build up on top. What do you think? Okay, so I'm going to take this out so we're not too confused. And let's go ahead and do the other way where you finish the stitch and it keeps everything nice and solid. You don't have to worry about things being loose. That's kind of loose. Okay. So here we go. We're going to change colors here. So, you know, with our single crochet, we had the 2 stitches. Our half double, we had 3. So here with our double crochet, we only have 2 again, because we do 2 different loopings, I guess. You know, you finish a half of it and then you finish the other half. So again, that stays there. Let's go ahead and grab our white and finish this off. And I'm going to leave this down here to work to bring it to the end. So here's our next stitch. I'm going to pull that. There we go. Okay, we're going to change colors again. Now, because I worked it underneath the white, the blue under the white, it's here ready for me when I need to change back. Okay. And we're going to finish off the row. There we are. Go ahead and pull that white. Okay. What do you think? Now, looking at this and the way everything has looked thus far, what method do you think you might prefer to do? By all means, try both, see what works better for you. Like I said, I will use both in different occasions, probably just because my brain is silly like that, and that's, I don't know. I forget one, do it, and then I'm like, oh wait, yeah, there's the other one too. It doesn't make sense, but it's okay. It works, and that's what matters. So go ahead and give those a try. Let me know what you think about the color changing and how to do them. I love feedback. Comment down below, send me a message in my Instagram or my Facebook, or go ahead and send me an email at hello@enchantedyarnworks.com. Either way, I will get back to you as soon as I see it or can. And yeah, this is fun. I hope that this is helpful and informative for you, and it opens up your repertoire for crocheting and gives you a lot more to work with. So, well, anyways, let me go ahead and clean this up, and I'll see you in just a moment. How about those color changes? Was this very helpful for you today? I hope so. I hope this can open up a whole new world for you in your new crochet craft repertoire, so that you can kind of delve out a little bit and have some fun with color, multiple colors, and all that jazz. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have not already, please go ahead and click that subscribe button and make sure that notification bell is dinged so that you are alerted when my next videos come out. Please, if you enjoyed this video, consider showing me some love by hitting that like button. So I want to say again, thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope this tutorial was informative and helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in our next.